We're thinking of letting our distributors sell our products on Amazon instead of us going direct. If that thought is in your head, then this video is for you. Hello, my name is Irina Balurko. I'm a partner at Redox e-commerce, where we help brands launch and grow on Amazon. And the question of how do you deal with Amazon in terms of selling yourself or letting others sell comes up all the time. In the past, maybe you had a choice saying, okay, I don't want to be on Amazon, and you don't sell on Amazon. But nowadays, Amazon is such a gorilla that you simply cannot afford to ignore it. You have to make a decision about it, be proactive, be intentional who and how sells it. Because if you don't set that, you're playing a lot of catch up, which we see a lot happen with the retail brands that kind of ignored Amazon for a while. And now it's a complete wild, wild west when it comes to their brand presence on Amazon. Our recommendation is always, especially if you're early journey, be thoughtful about Amazon. And first of all, I'll tell you through kind of 4 different ways the control model, who sells what, plays out on Amazon. And then I'll talk through, let's see, 3 factors that will help you in your thought process, decision-making process, who should sell your products on Amazon. So first of all, let's talk through the models of how you can sell on Amazon. So the first is you as a brand go direct, meaning that you, brand XYZ, will be selling your products on Amazon. You may be using your own fulfillment or Amazon fulfillment. That's just fulfillment model. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean that when customers buy products, they buy from you as a brand owner. Ideally you have 100% control of your space in Amazon, right? That's kind of the first approach. The second one is you make a decision, or decision was made for you by virtue of events, that your resellers or distributors sell your products on Amazon. In other words, you sometimes know, sometimes you may not know who they are, and they may use Amazon fulfillment or send your products themselves. But ultimately, you as a brand do not have direct representation on Amazon. It's done proxy through resellers and distributors. Okay, that's number 2. And number 3 is you have a hybrid approach where you as a brand are on Amazon because you want to have some control. You want to have control of the pages, content, but you also let your resellers or distributors sell your products. So you kind of coexist. Ideally, you know who they are and you have agreements on pricing and so on. So that's third one. And the fourth one is probably the least common that we see is in DTC space. It's usually kind of a traditionally B2B kind of a manufacturer. What we see is where you as a brand set up presence on Amazon and you have control behind the scenes in terms of content and such. But your resellers sell sometimes with and sometimes without you knowing, right? So meaning that you intentional about establishing presence, you don't want to sell direct, and you will have agreed distributors sell. The reason between that, the last one and the second one, is that the last one is where you know who distributors are and you're intentional about, again, controlling and setting up because you are aware that you cannot ignore Amazon. So those are kind of the 4 ways how it usually plays out. Now let's talk through how should you make decision, because it would be foolish to say, well, you should do this or that, because it does depend on your brand. It depends on what phase of a journey you are, right? As a business, it depends on what it's already a status quo for your brand on Amazon. So I want you to be equipped with decision-making process. Really, that's my goal here, instead of telling you what to do. So let's talk through kind of 3 main factors. The first is control factor. Control has direct correlation with sales. Who has control of the brand on Amazon usually is who has sales. So you can have control on Amazon and still struggle with sales. That's just kind of a maybe traffic problem. But if you cannot have reliable sales growth without control of your sales. So again, whoever has control, whether it's you or distributors is going to have sales. So you can, and that's kind of the spectrum. You can say, okay, the more control you give to distributors, right, the more sales they will have. What is your comfort level with that, right? So the control would be your, when we say control, it really means pricing. It means content. Obviously you're kind of leaving the fulfillment experience and so on and customer reviews in the hand of partially of whoever sells the products, right? So think about how much control you want to have on Amazon. The second one is the trust factor. Kind of goes with the second one. So if you're thinking about distributors or resellers selling, that's fine. That model can work. Then you don't take that operational burden and the Amazon expertise that you may not have. If they have experience with Amazon, that definitely helps. But think about, it's kind of they have de facto a fiduciary responsibility for your brand. So you have to have some really solid trust factor where they will take care of your brand, right? They make sure that images are not, wrong. Of course, the price is a big one. They abide with your pricing. What happens if a relationship goes sour, right? So do you have some type of guardrails around if you need to kind of take that control back. So think about that trust factor. It can be obviously, there's a lot of unpredictability in Amazon, but some of that can be done in the great ahead if you hand off your brand to your distributors. And the third one is long-term importance factor. If you put, how I like to, verbalize it sometimes, if you had to put your 10-year goals for your brand, for your business on a half piece of paper, would Amazon be on that half a sheet of paper? If the answer is yes, then that would argue for you being direct, you having more control, because again, more control means more sales and so on. The highest strategic role Amazon plays for your brand, for long-term goals, the more argument for that is to be direct rather than let distributors sell. So how dependent is your business on it, right? So the higher dependency, obviously, the more control you want to have. Those are kind of the three, again, kind of a talk through that is your control factor, your trust factor, and your long-term importance of Amazon factor. So those kind of overplay and help you determine how to treat Amazon. Don't wait until it's too late. This is word for kind of a budding, kind of a newer brands that don't have issues with resellers yet. Maybe they don't have enough presence. You don't have enough presence. So don't wait until it's too late to fix reseller, your brand looking bad on Amazon issue. So it becomes extremely, extremely challenging because at that point it's a whack-a-mole game. Sometimes you don't know who's selling your products, prices all over the place, images are wrong and so on. It becomes really strenuous and expensive exercise for your brand to clean that up. Be proactive about it. If you're in retail, I realize it's harder to sometimes find out who you are. Amazon has added more transparency in the last couple of years where you can't find out who those sellers are. It was a lot more challenging in the past. However, still, if you are already in retail, be very, and if you're not even focused on Amazon, always check Amazon. Find your products, look who they are, and if you see, somebody is selling, but they're not having any sales yet, it doesn't matter. It's about control, because in the end, it's about the brand equity, the equity of your brand that is being created on Amazon, the largest e-commerce place, right? Who will be in charge of that? And if it's not now, in 3, 5, 10 years, okay? So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, if you have any issues with your distribution model on Amazon, if you have any problems cleaning that space up, leave a comment. You can also find us on redrocksecommerce.com, and we'll talk soon.